Now, when I originally said, give me your best rigged game, I said there was a variety of ways in which this came about. There was, of course, the rigged map, where things were not as they seemed. There was the staged game, and then there was the synchronized swimming that we just saw on Neoplanet S. Another genre that I'd never really considered, another flavor of playing, is that of the RP community, the role-playing community. Now, generally, a lot of you know about World of Warcraft being very popular, having RP servers and that sort of thing, but what would an RP game look like in StarCraft 2? This is actually adorable. Now, let me just set the stage. Deep, deep on the black far reaches of space, Terran wish to colonize Cloud Kingdom. Who else to colonize than the infamous J-Law Katniss? Different from Katniss Everdeen, who sucks, by the way. Oh, does she... she's gross. I'm not saying she's a badly written character. She just... By the way, you should totally read Hunger Games. It's a great book. Screw Katniss, right? Oh, God. Oh, there would never be a way I would ever get a good score. An 11? Oh, come on, Katniss. Katniss. Oh. Funky Odin says, she's hot, though. That's weird, because I haven't seen the movie, I've read the book, and I've never heard anyone say that about, like, a book-only character. Just like, oh yeah, Katniss in the book, she is so fine. What I came up with in my head, hot. But Katniss, man, every time in the book when Katniss was like pulling an arrow and looking down and reminiscing about Gale and being outside the wall in her district, I just wanted that little funk, and you heard it like smacked in the face with the fletching, like what happened to me when I first tried to learn to do archery. Man, me and my friend Kevin, when we were in archery in college, it was the worst. Oh, by the way, Kavoth is hot. Kavoth is the hottest character in the universe. Anyways, my friend Kevin and I were just like probably the worst archers ever. Like penguins would be better archers than Kevin and I. So we had this guy whose name is Coach. I don't know. There's a certain point in your career as a sports coach where you actually lose your first and last name and you're just Coach. Just like with a stranger, you're Mister. That's what you are. So I remember Kevin was like holding the bow and he's like doing this and Coach comes up behind Kevin and is like, all right, Kevin, tuck your chin in, relax your waist, pull back with the back of your chest, elbow up, okay, tip it down a little bit, okay, tuck that chin in, and take a deep breath, now pull it up, and tuck it back, and release. And it just went, and it just went straight into the ground, and Kevin and I just look at each other and instantly burst into laughter. And Coach didn't say anything. Coach walked away. And Kevin walked 5 feet forward and picked his arrow that was very diagonally in the ground. It was wonderful. Oh, God. Anyways, Katniss J-Law, not Katniss Everdeen. Alright. Katniss, here to do some new colonization. Deep in the dark black reaches of space, where friends are few and dangers are plenty. Katniss. Oh, Terrans have arrived. Prepare my brood. Oh my God, that is adorable. Oh my God. And there it is. I love it. Pixel. Pixel Forgotten One. Get it done. Scout with that Overlord. And there it is. Yeah. Alright, now what is the story going on here? The colonies must first, of course, get supply depots, farms, to keep them alive. Setting up colonly. You know, I wanna set up kind of like a colon. I'm gonna set up colonly. I know I'm setting up colony, and I didn't see this typo when I first saw this game. Set up colonly. Very... Wow. And that's an adverb too, which means it modifies verbs. Like, can you run colonly? Oh, which means you have to... Oh, which means you have to be let loose every now and again. Alright, so there's Katniss Everdeen. Getting them depots. Barracks set up. Alright. Forgotten One. Sending the brood to step out all the setup that is being oh so colonly spread all along the reaches. Alright, now, of course, because this is a rigged game, they go, who is defender? Offending player? Well, you've arrived, so I believe you should be offending and I should be defend. How many bases is a new colony? 1 to 2. And maybe max 100 supply. For you or me? For me. That will be good. You can have 150. Okay. Okay, done. Alright, so they're just getting that role playing straight. That's why I think these things should be considered before starting. But no. Second barracks coming out. Now, if this were a real game, we'd want to have these supply depots locked tightly along the back ridge to be as, actually, here's probably the best place for depots because they're least vulnerable to drops and this sort of thing. But of course, this is setting up a colony, so we need to make absolutely certain that we have a nice little spread on our units and our buildings. PPK, can I have planetary? Sure, okay. Alright, cool. Just getting the story straight. The Forgotten One brood defending the noble Cloud Kingdom. Making sure that all remains in the grasp of the Zerg for Kerrigan, the leader of the swarm. And a badass at that. She's made of organic material with heels, fashion, and fierceness. God. Unlike fucking Abathur, who's dressed up all colonly. I mean, God. Katniss. We went out with Marines. And there it is, the Overlord's going in. Oh no. Uh-oh. Spots Zerg creature. Panic ensues from Katniss, morphing the orbital command. 2 in this guy's, or 1 in that one. Not fully mining. My queen! I found Terran's base. Yeah, Forgotten One. Even talking the way that Zerg units do. Like frickin' Zagara. My queen! Oh, colony. It's a colony. Oh yeah, I found the Terran's base. It's a colony, true. My queen! I have spotted a base. I can't quite remember how Abathur talks, but I guess since I'm in that role-playing thing, he's like, spinning strand. Shit. This is really bad. All I remember is that Dahaka sounds like a chain smoker who's trying to have an argument with a frog that's inside of his throat. Correct. Essence. So I can do something like that. Maybe if I screamed for like a day and I had like a really deep enough voice. But I can do an Overlord. StarCraft 1 units, no problem. Mutalisk? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that like dead on? And a Scourge is like... It's really high up there. And the Hydralisks are like... And a StarCraft 1's queen, the one with like broodlings and ensnare, is totally just like... is totally just like... Greetings, Command. Affirmative. Oh, man. Reporting in. Oh, those were all so good. Alright, Forgotten One has made the Ninja Blade of waypoints. Scouting around, checking. Now, this is something you would never see. You would never see this in a real game, but remember, this is a colony. And we need to make sure there's all sorts of motion going up and down the colony for it to operate properly. Now, Forgotten One is calling upon the Queen in one of those screechy, desperate, needing voices, the kind of voice that you use when you're 12 and trying to impress another girl on the cheerleading squad. Of course I'll go to lunch with you, my queen! You are my favorite! 12-year-olds, crazy things going on with their vocal cords. That's what puberty does. You sound like a witch whose voice is being played at a high speed, and then it becomes normal again. There you go. It's not a big deal. Uh-oh. Okay, we have the tank coming up. We have Stim. Again, a base not suited for competitive play, but for the role play. Perfect. The Terran fleet, of course, building up in exactly the right order. Uh-oh, no. Oh! Marines! Oh my! Says Katniss. Oh my! Defend the colony! Zerg's trying to get in to scout other things. But of course, Katniss knows how important this colony is to the Dominion. The resources available on Cloud Kingdom include both minerals, gas, and... I think there's some chairs. There's a steady supply of chairs and statues, as well as teardrop figures. Katniss is going to be moving out. Colony's safe for now. Suffered a lot of losses. There are only 2 survivors. This could be a co-op team in Mass Effect. Beware, my Terran friend! I'll crush you in no time! Ellipses, exclamation points. Unbelievable. Looks like siege mode's being researched, because this is StarCraft 1, baby, for some reason, baby. I have no idea, baby, baby, baby. But J-Law Katniss. Moving out. Continuing to mine. Getting more workers. A Viking. 2 Vikings. However, we need to begin teching up the tech tree. Oh no! Roaches. Roaches move out. But it's a mere scouting force. And by scouting, I mean it might actually kill this Terran if continuing to press forward. Moving forward. Okay. Okay. We're gonna speed this thing up. Be patient, my dear roaches. It's not time yet, says Forgotten One. Staying in the back. But very much so like Stefano, circa late 2011. There's not a lot of gas being mined, and it looks like only roaches. They move in! The Terran Dominion, feeling strong enough. Be ready, Captain. We need to remove the Zerg threat, says J-Law Katniss. A very manly-sounding woman. He's from South Texas. She's from South... Katniss is a female name. Oh my god. This is... I need to work on my role-playing. Fusion Core. Oh my god. An ancient tribal dance passed down from generation to generation with wrenches. Both for movement, weight, and the ability to construct a force powerful enough to dominate the skies. This is... Now, even in well-done movies, there's what we would call a plot hole. This is something that I would have rewritten this a little bit better if I had my say with the script. What does he say? You've grown in strength, Commander. I have slightly over 100. No problem. Parentheses. Parentheses is the out-of-game talk. The in-game talk, the diegetical talk, man, that's parentheses free. Said Day9, using any excuse to say the word diegetic. Alright, cool. The Zerg is beginning to construct a flank. Oh, yeah! It's not a fusion core, but whatever. All that was in parentheses. In this game, we see Katniss has amassed an amazing force. Enough to thwart the Zerg threat. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Everyone do it. Okay, that's enough. And it looks like the battlecruiser's out. The commander of the Dominion fleet himself. Moving out. Uh-oh, drones being built. Move out, Commander, says Katniss. Getting ready to unleash the force of death. Queen! Terrans are on the move! Now ignore the fact that there's like $1 billion in the bank. This is a story, guys. Come on. Of course Peter Petrelli isn't going to fly away when he's in danger. And I know he's been able to fly since Season 1, but you're not supposed to think about that. Remember, we're trying to tell a story here. It's fine if a couple of things don't add up. Especially huge things. I'm not trying to rag on this game, but I am trying to rag on Heroes. Zerg is about to get eliminated. Siege tanks. Holding up the rear. Arg! Damn you, Commander, says Forgotten One. But what do we see? Zerg! It is over! Never! Never! Command center, getting ready to be reconstructed. Uh-oh. He's mutilous. Taking out a siege tank. The Zerg swarm. may very well overwhelm. These Mutalisks, no, the Mutalisks will lose their lives. Forgotten One, unable to deal with the overpowering forces of Katniss, who comfortably has a main base, rallying all the way down to the backside. No, says Forgotten One, in a complete battle panic. For the turn, says Katniss, morphing into some mix between Kermit the Frog and Yoda. What? Uh-oh. The Zerg forces have continued to grow. The Zergling roach reinforcements on the ground proved too much for Katniss. Katniss, though, wielding a mighty battle cruiser. It's not enough. 2 mighty battle cruisers. It's not enough to prevent the oncoming inlaying threat of the Zerg forces from Forgotten One and Katniss. Katniss doesn't know what to do about that and is throwing down mules to make sure that he has enough money. Katniss taking things out. 2 extractors being constructed. Zerglings go up into the main base. So no, Katniss. So me oh my, your SCVs are going to die. And their families at home are going to cry if only they knew where the little guys went. Unfortunately, this is hyperspace. We don't have the Ansible. We cannot communicate. Their families will just not know forever. For the swarm, says the Forgotten One. Forgotten One trying to get some Mutalisks up. Another battlecruiser up. Tearing the minion fleet. Oh my god. Oh my god. By the way, I'm the BC. This one. This is Katniss right here. Lock on. What is it? Control Shift F. Does that follow? Yes, this is the Katniss cam. Okay. Yep. Oh my god. Dude, of all the Terran bras I have ever met, Katniss seriously totally lifts. Katniss moving down. Dramas. The Zerg is running low on units. The Zerg fleet. Zergs don't have fleets. Wrong language. The Terran fleet, too much. For the Zerg swarm. Very little swarming units there. Forgotten One and Katniss, who acted themselves out. I'll get you next time, Commander. I'll remember you until the end of days. And then a happy face, because even in the depths of space, do people give annoying smiley emoticons when murdering their enemy. Oh, isn't that cute? It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I looked at that and I was like, oh. This one I just like for the fact that it, like, I don't know, like, uh-oh, did we lose sound? Uh-oh. Okay, hopefully we didn't lose sound. Let's actually watch the greatest one. Alright. Alright. Now, the thing is, I wanted to show that game because it contrasts so starkly with this game. The last game was cute. I liked it. I liked the idea of role-playing in a StarCraft game because we're so used to the competitive aspect of it. But I remember when I was little and I used to play, you know, use map settings game with 6 computers. If one of my units did poorly in battle, I would bring him to the corner and talk to him, and I would execute him and show him what was up. But this, the 2 players from Team Ghosts, are going to be bitching at each other the whole game long about who's hacking. Much, much more like the games that we know and love. Good luck, kangaroo. Good luck, have fun. Any K that you type in there, like good luck is good luck, kangaroo luck. GLKL, very common thing to say before game in Australia, as well as New Zealand. Of course, you know Australia, many of you have heard of it. It's the continent that invented the kangaroo. So, Buswoli and Kionius says, man, I'm rusty, especially for 1v1, says Kionius. Run c/Bruce/download/SC2 inject wizard exe. WTF, says Kionius. Oops, didn't man to say that to all. Well, at least he didn't say 5 Colossus. Kionius, are you hacking us? He's like, no, of course, yeah. If I was hack, would I tell you I hack? He says to his teammate. Whatever, dude. Look, I'm scouting soon. This was supposed to be a casual game. Like, see, he's showing there's the Marine coming out. So everything is pretty much... there's building the orbital. Why build orbital if I get big resources? I don't know. Keonius is being a little brave and getting his Nexus up. Of course, the Marine, as you'll note, is a 45 hit point unit. It's just general purpose. 6 damage, 5 range. So, Bus Wooly. Oh, Cybernetics Core up from Keonius, who's just making sure he doesn't have to get his Zealot up. Alright, so here's the Tech Lab coming up. Now, there's a couple of tech transition options that you can get from the Tech Lab when it finishes, such as Combat Shield, Stim, Concussive Shell, or if you want, you can research the Relaxed Training Program. It's a very common upgrade. For any of you who don't know, the Relaxed Training Program lowers Marine supply cost by 0.5 and decreases the build time of barracks units by 50%. So Bus Wooly is doing kind of a common transition in the early game. Command Center coming up. Very typical Keonius. I think there's been some Stalkers out of Keonius. It's a very common unit. Dumb hacker to tell you when he hacks, says Bus Wooly, using the minimum amount of letters for the maximum amount of effect. Warp Gate, always an important upgrade. Mothership Core coming out. Of course, the Mothership Core has the Photon Overcharge, the Mass Recall, the Time Warp, and the Energize upgrades to boost back all the energy of a target unit. Looks like the Relaxed Training Program is getting close to complete, so things will be able to finish up soon. Stalker, really good unit, really good all-purpose unit. It blinks and it has salvageable parts, which means that upon death, Stalkers restore 75 minerals and 35 Vespene gas to their owner. So this is a great way to make sure that you don't have to overinvest in any one thing. And you know, it's a really good tool. Oh, look at this! Wait, run Blizz Warden. Oh no, there's Keonius trying to find the hack. Man, I mean, with that Relaxed Training Program, these units are building really fast. All right, wow, yeah. Now, of course, the Stalkers with salvageable parts really good when you want to do repeat engagements, such as against these Zerg colonies that are at the bottom right and top left bases on the map. And these are actually slightly boosted roaches, slightly boosted Zerglings, a little bit better stat in the Overseer there. So, Gateway's coming up, Robo Facility coming up. I think Blizzard does that by itself. You know, there's having some debate. You know, only when I got here in this game did I actually notice this. And I was like, is this what I think it is? Is this not a normal game? Is this not a normal game? Because I mean, you normally don't, you know, click on Stalkers and check for salvageable parts. Now, by the way, let me take a moment. Here's the greatest magic trick you will ever see. Here we go. All right. Now, this is how well designed StarCraft 2 is. Here we go. If we go F12, oh, that's not F12, F12, Protoss units, and we click on the Stalker, it actually shows salvageable parts down there. Oh my god. And if we click on the Mothership Core, it actually shows Time Warp down there. In the tooltip, it actually has it. Some legit engine shit right there, man. Yes. TIL. If I was hacking, I'd win already. So we're going to see an Observer, Common Scout unit. We'll see. It looks like we're going to be seeing some Hellions, some tanks, the usual mix. A little bit stronger tanks. Have 225 hit points. Always a good unit to have. You know, 15 damage base, 25 to armored. Probably going to siege that up and load some Marines into it soon. So, Starport's incoming. I keep getting supply block. I mean, that happens to everyone. So, the Immortal, as you know, Immortals are a really good unit. Immortals, one of the cores of any Protoss force. Pretty much an all-purpose unit. It's the sort of unit that has a lot of health, it does a lot of damage, has some good range, it has 7.5 range. The only real issue with the Immortal is that it can't go up and down ramps. It's actually too big for that. It won't fit, so it's pretty important that Buswally makes sure that he can engage this properly. Siege Tank, of course, we can just salvage the bunker and load the Marines into that. There's no real need to have both bunkers and siege tanks, because they do the same thing. So we see Buswally getting ready to move up to the front lines. He's got to be careful. He's going to send in one Marine. He's going to get one-shotted. How do you explain this? A WTF's being thrown away. What was that? Quickly. Stim and find out. He's going to target fire that hardened shield. And he's going to try to run past, see if he can pick off some. He almost got the Immortal. Didn't quite. My Immortal got yeah, what the heck, lol, I didn't know what if. So both of them are having a good time. Hellion's being constructed for harassment, more Marines. Really needs to get that combat shield upgrade. Relaxed training is really not the one he wants to do yet. So of course the good old Mass Immortals, pretty standard. I think each player designed their own race. We'll just see the Sentry has things are pretty typical with the Sentry. I don't know if there's any other units that are just like kooky and bustode. Widow Mines, very normal Widow Mines. Hellbats, of course, with the Ignite Afterburners, they can harass a little bit more easily. Definitely going to want to get those blue flamed up. So the Immortals are slow. That is a weakness of them. They're huge, so sometimes it's hard to see exactly where they're going, but no reason not to build anything but Immortals. So here come the... I'm going to slow down to faster so that way we can see the Ignite Afterburners in action. And there they go. This is not sped up. This is actual game speed. Really nice harassment unit. Every Terran wet dream is being satisfied right now. This is what happens when you get to design the game, right? Okay, there's scanning. These siege tanks, we're just moving them forward. We're keeping things loaded up. Keep them loaded up there pretty fast. Blizz is gonna find you, dude. I think Blizz is gonna find both these players and hire them. This is the it. Now, if we look at the money for Keonius, it just skyrockets because of the salvageable parts of those stalkers. The Immortals could step into the fray, but some Widow Mines being planted everywhere. Another expansion coming up. We're researching Storm, not really sure why we're doing that. Look how tiny the Colossus is compared to the Immortals. Now, of course, the Colossus, a little bit more of a support unit, which makes sense. It has the point defense drone to help it out versus Marauders, Banshees, any projectile firing unit, really. The Zealot is just your basic charge lot. You gotta research the charge. Little Colossus is so cute and so silly looking. Oh, gosh, I can't believe I missed this. I mean, the medevac drop. I mean, in a spot like this, I mean, being able to do counter-harassment is really important for Buswally. So it's good that he has a couple control groups. He's, of course, got to avoid those neutral queens down in the corner there. But the ability to unload, you know, what is this, 20, 30, whatever, a handful of units. I mean, this is not a number of Marines, this is an amount of Marines, right? You don't count the amount of M&Ms in your hand, you just have a handful of M&Ms, if you're me. I ate peanut butter M&Ms today, and I feel kind of guilty. There was this guy who was holding, it was outside the post office, he was holding this box of peanut M&Ms, and he's like, "Sir, would you like to make a donation for $1? It'll help create more after-school programs for kids." I just said, I want those peanut M&Ms. He's like, "Well, if you want to make a $1 donation, we'll give you a bag of M&Ms." I'm like, "So you're saying that one bag of peanut M&Ms is $1 because I have $10? And if kids are becoming learned because I want 10 packs of peanut M&Ms, then so be it." And of course, in my hands at all points in time was not some number of peanut M&Ms, it was an amount of M&Ms. Buswally Trying to do some counter-harassment. Unloads very fast, but oh no! Oh no, what has happened here? What has happened here? Oh gosh, I just really need to work on my observer skills. I mean, these tanks are not getting sieged up. Oh my god, there's a non-zero number of immortals. One medevac is Keonius? I don't know. Well, if you're behind 1A, it is the rule of all players at all levels, in all leagues. These immortals doing some serious work. Very large animations, very good. And Keonius working his way up. WTF Dubug. So big. Oh, Dubug is a typo of so big. I understand. It looks like the Zealot Templar being morphed in the Observer. Permanently Cloak Detector. Pretty normal Observer. This is going to be hard to deal with. But because we can build Marines way fast. Let me actually... This is normal game speed Marine production that we're actually seeing right here. So, holding that A button from Buswally. It's okay. We both hack. Let's not tell him. Oh, by the way, oh, look at that. Wait a minute. I just want to double check. I'm pretty sure, let's look at this Immortal. I think Immortals have a power field. So I think you can warp in on an Immortal. Yeah, they do. So there's a small power field. You can't really see it unless you're in, like first-person player perspective, but really useful for reinforcing those front lines. But, as you know, if at first you don't succeed, whoops, build only Marines. They're building so fast. One siege tank getting loaded in there. Look at this. Look at how little white there is there. And, oh, the Immortals, they can't get up the ramp. So, yeah, so this is a real downside to these Immortals. Actually aren't getting up here. They're just eating these mine shots. Uh-oh, he's having a little bit of issues with some of these roaches that are down here. And tanks, of course, don't have any minimum range. Okay. So, I mean, things are looking pretty good for our Immortaling player. Marines are being constructed. No combat shield in these Marines. But they build fast, so that's what makes it fair. Ha 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 ha. Emos. Marines kill everything. But Storm, to be able to counter the weakness of the Marines. Geed. How you get that gas? I don't know. 3 Immortals being made at a time, and of course, price at the very fair, 250, 100. Not quite as much as a Colossus, because that point spent thrown on the Colossus is really broken if you use it correctly. Wow. Ravens? Pretty typical looking Raven. Nothing too noteworthy about it. Ugh, Protoss, goo! Can't beat with hacks. Well, hacks always beat hacks. Ha ha ha. And after this, we will have a wonderful story. Hard to engage siege tanks with Marines loaded inside. The base trade Death Force. The Immortals, having to sit on the low ground. Archons just do a lot of damage. Nothing noteworthy about them. Didn't really have too much modifications placed upon them. Well, GG Hacker. Oh, looks like his army's dead. I hope there's some first-time viewer watching this thinking, my Immortals aren't that big. And can you buy, like, a skin for an Immortal that's just like a bigger Immortal? And that poor person is confused. And there's no way to explain this, but that game was rigged, and sometimes rigged games happen. Once upon a time, in Brood War, in my opinion, the greatest game ever made, there was it Cloud? I want to say it was Cloud. I'm actually going to Google this. Guy beats hacker brood war. I want to say it was Cloud. It was a European Protoss player who was... Hopefully there's a VOD of this game somewhere. He was playing a Protoss vs. Terran. And there's a number of forms of hacks that exist, or have existed, in RTS games. The simplest one is the map hack, the one that reveals everything that's going on. StarCraft 2 has what's called a production hack that a lot of people... I think they did. I think it went through a whole bunch of... I think Warden or whatever got improved and it's been fixed. I don't know. But the production hack is where you like see what the enemy's production is, but you don't see what's going on all around the map. There's mineral hacks that exist in that existed in Brood War, where you just get more minerals. I mean, there's a bunch of annoying ones, but I mean the big ones that were like clearly evident were things like there were things called tweak hacks in Brood War that would make all your units cost a little bit less and build a little bit faster, so you just looked like you were just able to do more. So most people try to be as subtle and as sneaky as possible to try to avoid suspicion. But there was a very famous game where a player started off, didn't even move his workers, and just suddenly had 10,000 minerals and 10,000 gas. And then he just starts building a whole bunch of barracks and factories and then tons of starports and getting upgrades for battle cruisers, and he ringed his base with turrets, built no workers beyond his initial starting 4, and went mass BC. So Cloud, I think it was, if anyone knows this game, please tell me who the person was. Cloud was a Protoss player who just like sent his first Dragoon over to like do some very basic harassment and saw that like starports were being built, and it was like, what is like crazy fast. So Cloud takes the whole map and begins going carriers and engages in this huge mass epic battle where the guy's coming out with like tons of battle cruisers. He's like feedbacking all the battle cruisers and like picking them off with carriers and getting arbiters and stasising half of them. And then eventually Cloud gets so many arbiters that he stasises the entire guy's army. And stasis is that the unit cannot move, attack, or receive damage for like 90 seconds, for a very long time. So it's just like disabled, and then the stasis wears off and it can fight again. So just stasis the whole army and slowly killed off everything. And it was like an hour-and-a-half long game. It was like amazing. Just like this tenacity of this Protoss, like a total hero. But I love that because it was just like all odds stacked against him and he managed to win. So I'm happy to have seen such ridiculousness in these rigged games. But I have a Funday Monday topic for next week that can involve everyone. Because it sounds easy. I've done this many times myself. It's stupidly fun. Here we go. Funday Monday for next week. You get with a buddy and play a 1v1. A Protoss versus Protoss, where the only attacking unit you can make is the sentry. That's it. So essentially you can go probes, warp prisms, observers, and sentries. And that's it. This is stupidly fun. Grubby does this a lot with people. So it's all going to be about how you can force field. Maybe you want to do some proxy sentry stuffs. Yes, it's a tickle fight. That's a tickle fight. That's exactly right. Cav Gunner, who is now named next week's show, is the tickle fight. You can do this on Unranked. You don't have to do this on Ladder. You can just do a custom game with a friend. If you're looking for someone to do this with, go to day9.tv and make a thread, or there might already be a thread, about a tickle fight partner. Mothership Core is fine as well. Do I want a Mothership Core in there? No Mothership Core. No Mothership Core. None. No Mothership Cores at all. Sentries, warp prisms, observers, and probes. Those are the only units you can build. No Mothership Core. None. Zero Mothership Core. I want this to be about micro. I want it to be about planning. I want it to be about cannons and probes and bases and hurting. Submit those to Monday at day9.tv. So yeah, it'll be a tickle fight. Yeah, cannons are fine. Cannons aren't units. They're buildings. So the only things you can beat. The only things you can do. Yeah, I feel like cannons should be fine. I don't see the huge deal with building a ton of cannons. Tickle each other. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Now, a lot of people will say things like, oh, it might be difficult to engage those cannons. Well, if your opponent's spending all his money on cannons, you can spend all your money on warp prisms. Also, if you do a lot of hallucination, think about how good it is to hallucinate sentries. Alright. I'm going to be also at the Red Bull training grounds on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm thinking Thursday I'll just play Last of Us because I really, 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 really want to play that game. I'm done. Alright, bye guys. Ah. Thanks for watching the show. This is Superman Fred.